So one thing to know about vinyl fence, every manufacturer out there is going to tell you that their product is the best. It's a total lie. It's a sales gimmick. They're just trying to get you to buy their product. I'm not saying that that's what this was, but there is some vinyl out there that is just completely trash and terrible. It was a beautiful, screaming windy day. The owner, he came out and he's like, man, this fence, it was just a whipping and it was just a going. We had wind gusts of about 87 miles per hour. There was one tree that fell on a house. There were some sheds, probably about a shed just like this, in just an empty lot. And it blew onto its top. I only lost this one section. He wasn't mad. It was cold that day, and when vinyl gets cold, it gets brittle. More than likely what happened is when this section blew out, it came and hit that shed and just cracked. So here we have a cutoff of that same picket. It's been at room temperature, so it's about 65 degrees in this room. So as you can see, no real damage happened. I mean, just a minor crack right there, nothing chipped out. Still that one crack. Now to change that up just a little bit, I put those same cutoffs in the freezer last night. So we're gonna take one right out of the freezer, just instantly shattered. So vinyl does get very brittle in the cold climate. Vinyl anything, vinyl fence, vinyl siding. Even though this piece is really strong, this is the same product as this, just two different temperatures. Something to keep in mind. So another thing to know about vinyl fence is it's always a great idea just to have a few extra pickets on hand, just in case something like this happens. And if you're gonna purchase a vinyl fence and have somebody install one for you, maybe make sure that you're hiring somebody with a really good name so that way, should something ever happen, somebody's gonna be there to answer the phone to help you when you actually have a problem. And then before I put my rail in, I'm just gonna double check that I have the right length. So I'm 86.5, so I'd really like to have 1.5 inches on each side of insertion. I'd really like to have 89.5. I've got 88. No, that's not gonna work. So right now, currently, I probably have about that much sticking inside that post, and I have like that much sticking on the inside of this post. I mean, it's holding, but if I don't have the insertion that I really want and I'm looking for, I feel like it's my obligation to fix it now so that way, you know, fix it once, don't fix it 10 times. Now, we got adequate insertion. And this is just gonna lock these together so that way nothing can come out. And if you're in doubt, there's nothing wrong with using a rail lock and also notching your rails. It's just double insurance that it's not gonna come apart. So when building vinyl fence and wind, number one, make sure that your material's thick enough that can combat the wind, because there is manufacturers out there that manufacture poor quality vinyl. I'm not gonna drop some names, but you guys know who you are. Number two, make sure that you have proper rail insertion. Number three, make sure that you're using rail locks and locking everything together. Or you're using rail locks and you're also notching your rails. Number four, if you need to, make sure to shrink those post spacings to make a stouter, stronger fence. And that, like I said earlier, does not just go for vinyl, it goes for any fence. Also, you'll notice that I'm only replacing the damaged parts. And that's something to remember when you buy a vinyl fence. Not all vinyl fences come like this. Some of the cheaper stuff just comes pre-assembled, and you would actually have to change out an entire panel for any part of damage. Not only did we use a screw and a rail lock, I also notched the rail 2 times, just to make sure that they don't have that problem again. So I know what you're thinking. Whoa, that's not the same color. Actually, it is. This is just one other thing that happens to vinyl. Over time, it fades and it fades together. So if you have to make a repair, you're gonna have a little discoloration in your repair. All right, so we're at a new location where we had another damage suffered by that giant windstorm. As you can see, it's very small compared to the last property we were at. This is still one of our past jobs. And actually, this particular job was a nightmare from the supplier. We were promised one thing, We got it completely installed, and I think we got a call back from this particular customer within 2 months. Our entire fence is laid on the ground. Product failed, but that product had a great warranty, so we thought. So not only did we buy the product twice, we paid for the installation and labor twice, because we're gonna uphold our name. Needless to say, we don't use that supplier anymore. The minute that this happened, we immediately jumped ship and went right back to where we were.
As one of the very few Wyoming-based franchise companies out there, we're launching territories right now in Idaho, Utah, Colorado, Montana, Nebraska, and Wyoming. And if you've always watched our videos and thought, I could do that, this opportunity may be for you.
And as you can see here, we have a product failure. It's putting a little bit of undue stress on this, and I could sit and write a letter to some guy sitting in an office chair and try to prove my case about how this is going to be a faulty product claim. My time is worth more than that. I'm just going to show up, protect my name. I'm going to replace this post. We're going to drive away. If you have a lot of wind, do you need to shrink your post? Do you need to add stiffeners to your post? Do you need to make the product stronger? Everything has to be built to combat the wind. Isn't it just crazy? So the wind speed that you see us dealing with right now is the top speed of 37 miles per hour. It doesn't seem like a lot. Why don't you just drive down the road, hold out a sheet of plywood while you're driving, and see if you can hang on to it. Now, if you want full privacy, expect for your fence to be blocking full force winds. And if you're not in need of a full force privacy, maybe you need to be looking at something like a semi-privacy. Allows the wind to pass through. Have you ever seen a semi-privacy fence that blew over in the wind? Or another option that you could do is shorten your privacy and have a top picket accent to still give you a 6 foot tall fence. But by all means, make sure that you start off with appropriate high quality materials, because if you don't, you may not get nearly the lifespan out of your fence that you should be. The vinyl industry hasn't changed much. And there is another product out there that's newer than vinyl, and that's this. This stuff is extremely robust, extremely strong, it's extremely thick. I cannot get the flex on it like you can a vinyl fence. And you get nice steel posts, nice solid U-channels. Now that is stronger than vinyl. It's Dan with SWI. We are Wyoming's Fence Company, and we hope you have a good dang day.